Nobody.
The time, until January 8th. The place, your good neighbor Chevrolet dealer. The deals, up to $2,400 factory cash back and option discounts. The reason, over 3,800 trucks available. The selection, 2- and 4-wheel drive full-sized pickups, S10 pickups, and Blazers. The bottom line, tremendous savings and selection. Factory cash back program ends January 8th. See your good neighbor Chevrolet dealer soon.
Happy New Year from all of us at TV2.
The Bills make me wanna kick your heels up and down.
You're looking at a live picture of Rich Stadium, where the Bills have just defeated the Houston Oilers by a score of 17-10 to advance on to the AFC Conference Championship. Good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year. I'm Wes Goforth, and welcome to our special goal-to-goal post-game program. In just a few minutes, we'll take you live inside the Bills locker room, where Ed Kilgore is standing by to talk with the victorious Bills players and coaches about today's game. First of all, though, we go to News Center 2's Steve Keeley. He has a bird's-eye view of the stadium and the pandemonium and the party right now. Steve?
Well, Wes, the fans and the field look a lot different than they did after the Bills clinched that Eastern Division title. The fans in Buffalo complied twice today with the Bills team. First of all, they did indeed make Rich Stadium the house of noise today for the Houston Oilers, making it difficult for Warren Moon signals to be heard by his players. Secondly, they complied after the game. As you can see on the field, the only people you see on there right now are security personnel. The Sheriff's Mounted Patrol is out here making sure none of the fans ran on the field, and they've complied. Not anyone has ran on the field yet. The other thing, most fans are staying put in their seats. They gave out 80,000 of these pom-poms today, hoping the fans would rather choose to shake these than shake down the goalpost, and that's what they're doing. We'll take it back to you and hopefully get some comments from the Bills.
Indeed, we will, Steve. Thank you, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Just to put things in perspective, the Bills will play the Cincinnati Bengals next Sunday for a trip to Super Bowl 23 at Joe Robbie Stadium 3 weeks from today in Miami, Florida. Now, Mike DeGeorge has just talked to a few of those Bills coming off the field out at the stadium this afternoon, and here's what they had to say.
It's great.
What was the key, Cornelius?
Hey, we just came out and won, man. That's all. Everybody played their hearts out. It's a great game. Just a great game. It's a great feeling.
Okay. One step from the Super Bowl.
All right, baby.
One step from the big one.
Man, this feels great, man. We played good. Good offense, good defense, special teams all came together today. One more, that's it.
A little hairy there at the end. You had some chances to put it away, and you didn't do it.
Yeah, we did, but hey, you know, we all pulled together, damn, we're a team, and we're going all the way now.
The fans really were in
the fans helped us out a lot.
Thanks, Andre.
All right.
Best of luck. Let's see, baby.
Okay, that is the Bills just moments ago out of the stadium. Andre Reed, Cornelius Bennett, of course, the most valuable player selected by NBC as the Bills beat the Oilers by a count of 17-10. Let's take a look at the playoff picture as it stands right now. The AFC is set. Of course, as we said, the Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals a week from today in the early game. That is a 12:30 kickoff at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, and the winner again going on to the Super Bowl in 3 weeks in Miami. Now, over in the NFC, the Chicago Bears have clinched the home field advantage for their conference championship next Sunday against either the San Francisco 49ers or the Minnesota Vikings. They will kick off in just a few minutes out at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, and the winner then will meet the Bills-Bengals winner in the Super Bowl. Ed Kilgore standing by live out at Rich Stadium right now with some of the jubilation from the Bills locker room. Ed?
Yeah, that's right, Wes. I have Thurman Thomas with me, who had just a tremendous game. Thurman, your first AFC playoff game, and you came up big. You have to feel good. One game away from the big one.
Well, you know, I wanted to do well against the Houston Oilers because that's my hometown where I'm from, and all the people back in Houston were watching this game, and I just felt that I had to go out and have a good game. We had to have some type of running game because Houston defense does stop the run very well, and our offensive lineman came off the ball all day long today, and you got to give a lot of credit to those guys.
Thurman, were you surprised that you weren't used more, especially in the early going? Obviously, you wanted to open it up, and Jim Kelly came out throwing the football.
Well, yeah, I was surprised. I didn't have no idea that we were going to come out like the first couple of series and just throw the ball. I had no idea that was going to happen. But I guess we did want to kind of stretch the defense out and then maybe loosen them up for the run, which we did. And, if it's going to work to our advantage, let's do it every week. We just have to do the things that we know how to do and able to win.
You broke 141 yards. Looked like you were going to get it in there. Did you think you had 6?
I thought I had 6. But I couldn't see the guy that was coming up on me. I had no idea that he was back there or anything like that. The guy said he had an angle on me, but, you know, I was trying real hard to get into the end zone. And it was just a basic little play, a little trap play, and it almost broke all the way.
Well, and then you got one in there. That had to be a nice feeling, a 11-yard run.
It was nice. You know, a lot of guys have been kidding me about, you always getting it down to the 5-yard line, and Rob comes in. So I just decided, hey, I'm not going to get tackled. I'm going to get into the end zone.
Looking forward to the rematch with the Bengals?
Oh, yes. We hurt ourselves for the first game, man. I think a lot of players know that. Made a lot of turnovers and a lot of mistakes. And, you know, we got back into the game a little bit too late. And hopefully we can eliminate all those mistakes and be in the game the entire time.
All right, Leonard, thanks. Great job. I've got Leonard coming up. Thurman, thanks. Thurman, thanks a lot. Nice game, buddy. Leonard, let's get in here. We have Leonard Smith. Played a terrific game at strong safety. And, Leonard, the last time I talked to you, you weren't around for the whole game. And I know that would, I hate to remind you, but I know that was one of the things that the Houston Oilers probably would have liked to have seen. But they weren't able to intimidate anybody. They weren't able to throw any cheap shots that were retaliated. You guys kept your heads pretty good out there.
Well, we knew we had a job to do. And, you know, fight's not going to win a game. The guys playing on the field, scoring points is going to win. And we knew that going into the game. And we just stayed to our game plan. You know,
maybe it's an obvious thing now, but a lot of people kind of counted the Bills out when you'd lost 3 out of the last 4. Certainly the national media did. Obviously, you guys didn't feel the same way.
Well, you know, we've been hearing those things. It's like a seesaw, up and down, and we believe in ourselves, and that's the main thing. And we believe in each other, and we continue to fight. You know, things didn't work out as well as it was supposed to, but it's a new year, and right now, we want to know, and, you know, we just need to take it one step at a time.
Leonard, what did you do differently defensively in the second half? In the first half, it looked like Warren Moon was hurting you over the middle there, especially on third down. He hit Drew Hill a couple times for big gains. In the second half, you seemed to cut that off, and I don't know if you changed anything or just there was more, maybe a better pass rush.
Well, you know, overall, we did get a better pass rush. We knew the game was going to be on defense, and we just, our front line laid their ears back and started getting at the quarterback, didn't give him a chance to set up and throw the ball. We were making breaks on it, but, you know, things like that happen when you're playing against a good team, man. You know, you got to tip your hat to them. They were throwing passes, completing passes, running the ball, but we just overall played better defense today.
Were you able to hear that crowd out there?
Oh, we love that crowd. Hey, that was outstanding.
What about going down to Cincinnati again? Down there before, they had a pretty good game against you, beat you pretty handily. Is the rematch going to be a little different story, you think?
It has to be. We didn't really play as well as we should have, but you know, we did some things well, and we were close, but you know, close only counts in horseshoes. We got to go out there and play the type of game we're capable of playing, and everything will take care of itself.
All right, Leonard, nice job. We'll let you get back in and enjoy the celebration. Super job. Congratulations. Good luck in Cincinnati. Leonard Smith, the Bills' strong safety. And West will be trying to get more people out here to talk about this big victory for the Bills as they head to the AFC Championship game in Cincinnati. And very obviously in the locker room, it's a very happy group of guys, as well as they should be. West, we'll be back in just a minute.
Okay, Ed, thank you. Bills head coach Marv Levy has started his post-game press conference across the way from where Ed Kilgore is with the players, and we now join Marv Levy live.
Win. Enjoy it. Be ready to go back to work tomorrow. We have another game next week. I beg your pardon? No, you're excited. I mean, I don't think there's any jitters. I don't think our team necessarily reflected they were playing with any jitters, and I didn't feel any of that other than the excitement of being in a game now that takes on added import. But it's great to play in the playoffs. You work all year and to be here, and it's great to be there. Our objective was not to get in the playoffs, and our goal was not to win a playoff game, but so we can continue the process and hope we can continue it. Right. That's true. We an area where we have to improve when we haven't been great down inside there. Particularly, we were stopped twice inside the 1 or 2 yard line down there, which was a little bit distressing. The first call was mine. We initially thought we were going to go for a field goal. We saw that the quarter was nearly over, had time to think about it, decided to go for the, we called a pass play because I thought it had a pretty good chance. It was, I think we're in the 2 yard line, but we had inches to go for a first down. They defensed it well. And then the last time, they just, they beat us to the draw down there in the goal line when we had 2 feet to go. No. I don't think so. I think maybe we were a little looser, came out, but we've had other games where we came out throwing like this. I don't know the number of times we ran in this game, not very many, but we didn't put any more points on the board. we did before. We played great defense. We played super on our special teams.
What I wanted to ask you a little bit about special teams.
We're with Bills quarterback Jim Kelly, who has just won certainly the biggest game he has played in a Buffalo Bills uniform. Jim, it has to be a nice feeling. You still have a ways to go, but you climbed that first little or big step.
Yeah, it definitely feels good, especially I get to throw the ball a little bit today, and it definitely felt good. Tell you what, the offensive line did one super job on it, and that was our main concern going into the game, is getting time to throw. And I got to credit the offensive line. I know everybody always says, well, you know, the offensive line, but this time they deserve it, and they did one heck of a job.
Were you surprised that at the game? And now Thurman Thomas told me he didn't even know that he wasn't going to get the ball that much. Were some of those audibles you called, or was the main thing just to come out, throw it, loosen it up for the run instead of the other way around?
Well, you all complained so much about the last 4 games us not throwing the ball, and we wanted to save a little bit, and I think we showed it today. You can't be conservative when you get into the playoffs. A team that moves the ball and controls the ball is going to win a game. I think we proved that today. I think we came up firing the ball, and it sort of caught them off guard. And we anticipated them blitzing a little more than they did, but they sort of played in the zones, and we were able to pick them apart.
Jim, a play that could have been second-guessed, of course, is when you decided to go for the touchdown early there instead of taking the sure 3. It looked like maybe you went over. I don't know if you changed Marv's mind on that, but it looked kind of big there for a while.
It did. You know, if we would have went for the field goal, everybody would have complained because we went for the field goal. But when you get in the playoffs, you got to go for the gusto. You got to go for the big one. And we went twice. You know, you got to credit them. They did one heck of a job stopping us, and it's something we'll probably think about next time. But maybe we can mix it up a little more. But you got to credit them, and they came up with a big play a couple times.
Jimmy, you're looking forward to that rematch down in Cincinnati?
Boy, am I ever.
What do you have to do differently? Obviously, stop them, but also hang on to the football a little more.
Yeah, well, we have to control the ball. I mean, we have to mix it up. I thought today we showed what our offense is all about. We mixed up pretty well. The run came out all right. It's just a matter of us going in there and getting the job done. And as an offensive team, the defense be able to stop them. We get our work cut out for us next week.
Jim, this club came in without much playoff experience. Just a few guys really had playoff experience. Obviously, it didn't matter all that much.
No, especially when you're at home. It definitely is a sweet victory, and we had everybody behind us. And when you're at home and you're playing in front of these fans, I think it adds a little bit more to it. And we just want to go out there and show everybody what we're made of, and we can come through.
Okay, Jim, we'll let you get to the rest of the media now. Congratulations. See you Tuesday night. Tuesday night, 7:30, right here. Jim Kelly, be there. That's right. Okay, Wes, let's take it back to you now.
Ed, thank you. Once again, the Bills have beaten the Houston Oilers 17-10. They go to Cincinnati for the AFC Championship a week from today. Cannot be faulted at all for any lack of offensive creativity today, throwing the ball about 2/3 of the time, as Jim Kelly said. Both the Bengals and Bills were 9-0, are 9-0 at home this season. Our goal-to-goal post-game coverage is going to continue live from the stadium in the Bills locker room right after this look at why they call it the home field advantage.
Throw your head back and come on now. The Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shout it right now, baby. Come on.
The time until January 8th. The place, your good neighbor Chevrolet dealer. The deals, up to $2,400 factory cash back and option discounts. The reason, over 3,800 trucks available. The selection, 2- and 4-wheel drive full-sized pickups, S10 pickups, and Blazers. The bottom line, tremendous savings and selection. Factory cash back program ends January 8th. See your good neighbor Chevrolet dealer soon.
We knew if we put a nut like Sandy Beach on Magic 102...
The Sandy Beach Magic Morning Show. Well, first of all, it started...
Other nuts would listen.
When I rolled out of bed, I didn't want to get out of bed, but I had to get out of bed because I had to go to work.
In fact, we've been gathering nuts all over Western New York. Why would all these nuts listen to a nut like Sandy? Because he cracks them up. Sandy Beach on Magic 102. Nuts if you listen, nuts if you don't.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a magical breakthrough in home decorating. You've always dreamed of a foolproof way to match designer fabric or wall covering to an appropriate shade of paint. Now it's a snap with Benjamin Moore's computer color matching system. Insert the sample, blend the paint according to my computer, and presto, a perfect match. Magic, you say? It's our computer color matching system. Put it to work for you.
Available at Sheely & Company's 3 convenient locations. Sheely Paint and Wallpaper.
In today's confusing world of health insurance, one company is your complete source for dependable, affordable hospital, doctor, and dental coverage. One company with the experience and the financial resources to provide you with fast, efficient service. Ask your employer for complete coverage from that one company, Blue Shield of Western New York. Carry the strength of the shield.
Welcome back to Goal to Go. Ed Kilgore now standing by live at the stadium with Chris Burkett. Ed?
Yeah, that's right, Wes. And Chris, I know if anybody had to be happy about the fact that the Bills decided to open things up a little bit today, it was you, and it seemed to work.
Yeah, definitely, it was me. I don't know, for the last 16 ball games, I've been kind of up and down. You know, I've had a couple injury problems. But today, I kind of forgot the regular season because, you know, playing in the playoffs is just like, really, it's like a new season starting over again. And I felt today was the opportunity for me to go out and show what I can do. You know, I know I practiced real well all during the week, and I felt I was going to have a pretty good game. And I mean, everybody did well. Everybody did well, including our fans.
Oh, the fans were certainly a factor in this one. Now, Chris, you haven't had this experience of the playoffs. A lot of the guys haven't. Did some of the fellas that had been around a while, like Smurlus and maybe Still, did they help at all?
Yeah, they did a lot of talking to us. But what you got to do to get it, I mean, you just got to get experience. To play in a game like this, you just got to get the experience yourself. A lot of guys could tell you what to expect and kind of make your mind at ease. But it's all about getting the experience, and we got it today. Like you said, this was my first one. And it felt real good. You know, at first I was kind of nervous. You know, I was kind of twiddling, especially looking at all that 80,000 fans we had because, I don't know, it seemed like today was just a little different from any other ball game. And I don't know, I came out and I did the best I could, you know.
Well, Chris, one thing that's certainly different is, and I'm sure this is in the back of your mind, you have a national television audience. There's no other competition. You are it, so virtually every football fan in America is watching. I know that had to creep in there, too.
Yep. My mom saw me. That's one thing. But, you know, I try to overlook that, you know. I mean, you know, you got a lot of people looking at you, your home folk, you know, all people all across the world. But I'm glad we won. You know, everybody was watching us, and we came out and played well. We made a couple of mistakes here and there. We dropped a couple of passes, but we came back and made the plays we had to make.
Well, it didn't seem to be that there was any panics set in. You seem to be very confident. What about the rematch against Cincinnati?
That's what we were all waiting for. I don't know. Cincinnati played well against Seattle yesterday, and they beat us. They beat us pretty good. We came back in the latter part of the game, but this is, like I said, this is a game we all sat back waiting for.
Okay, Chris, nice job. We'll see you next week in Cincinnati. Chris Burkett, okay, we'll have somebody here in just a minute now, Wes, so we'll throw it back to you.
Okay, Ed, thank you. A brief look at the Bills' offense today. Kelly threw the ball 33 times, 19 completions, 244 yards. Of course, they were stopped twice on fourth down near the goal line and missed a field goal late in the game when Scott Norwood hit the upright. That could have led to another 17 points. The offensive line, though, knowing if it could hold off the Houston blitz, that Jim Kelly could throw the ball, and that's exactly what happened, of course, this afternoon. 17-10, Bills over the Oilers. Let's take a closer look now at the history of the Buffalo Bills versus Cincinnati Bengals rivalry. Now, this, of course, is the rivalry that will determine the Super Bowl participant from the American Conference 3 weeks from today. Buffalo, 5 wins. Cincinnati, 9 wins. In the playoffs, the Bengals have the only win. That, of course, was 7 years ago Tuesday at Cincinnati when the Bills dropped that one. The Bills lost at Cincinnati just a few weeks ago this season when the Bengals won it 35-21. Sam Weich's team unbeaten at home, as was Marv Levy's this year, and the Bengals pretty much did it with a big running game. James Brooks had a 3-yard touchdown run on their second possession to make it 7-0 Cincinnati. This after the Bills had held the Bengals at the goal line on their first possession. Boomer Esiason then in the second quarter to Brooks again on a 13-yard touchdown pass, and the Bengals were up 14-0. Much the same type of game as happened yesterday in the first half against the Seattle Seahawks in their semifinal. The Cincinnati fans call it the jungle in Cincinnati. The fine rookie fullback Ickey Woods with the touchdown run made it 28-7 Bengals in the third quarter at this point and got penalized for the Ickey shuffle. Rob Riddick, though, with the 1-yard touchdown run, drew the Bills very close in this one. It was Riddick's fumble later that would take the Bills out of it with about 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. As we see coming up right here, the Bills were driving to tie the game at this point. There it was with 11:50 left, actually, and he was hit by Tim Crumry, the nose guard, all-pro of the Bengals. Lewis Billups with the fumble recovery, and that pretty much took the wind out of the Bills' sails, and they lost that one by a count of 35-21. But again, the Bills want much different outcome to happen next week at Cincinnati. Ed Kilgore again, standing by live. We join him in the Bills' locker room. Ed?
Thanks again, Wes. With me now is Bruce Smith, who certainly had a big hand in this one. And Bruce, What a terrific feeling this must be, having never experienced anything quite like this in your professional career.
I really haven't. Well, we paid the penalty by the price by staying in and getting our rest and making the sacrifices necessary to bring in the new year right, and that's what happened today.
Now, how did you, I asked Chris Burkett this, but you personally, how did you wind up not getting too excited about the football game? Obviously, it's the kind of thing you had a couple weeks to think about. Did some of the veterans help?
Well, they helped certainly, but we were wound up ever since we knew we were going to play Houston. I think the day after the game, or the very second after the game, I started making phone calls, calling around. I had the butterflies just sitting there watching, you know, the end of the Cleveland and Houston game, and I've been pumped up the whole week. It's been very hard to kind of calm myself down.
Bruce, the Oilers obviously had you in mind in their game plan. I saw guys practically tackling you out there. They were double teaming you, triple teaming you. It wasn't an easy afternoon by any means.
Well, I think that if a team has that type of strategy towards me, that leaves it open for somebody else to get in there and make a play, and that's what happened. I'm just glad that they had to use a game plan to stop me.
Now, do you feel more comfortable, Bruce? I know you lined up over the nose tackle. You line up people on the left side sometimes. Sometimes I see you get down in the three-point stance. Sometimes you're standing. Is it just whatever feels comfortable at the time?
Just whatever feels comfortable. I'm versatile. I can play on the left or right. I can play in front of the center. I just like to do it all.
Now, did the Oilers do anything to try to, I don't know, any dirty tactics to try to intimidate you at all, that kind of thing, or was it a fairly clean? It looked from upstairs like a fairly clean, hard-hitting game.
I think it was a fairly pretty hard, clean game, and I think that they just went out and tried to play tough, and we went out and tried to play tough, and the best team today won.
Looking forward to that rematch in Cincinnati?
I definitely am. They really manhandled us when we played up there before, so we're going to go up there with a healthy squad, and we're going to have payback in mind.
All right, and Bruce, you're not going to jump off sides, right?
Hey, I can't promise you anything. I'm going to try that today.
Okay, nice job, Bruce. Great job. Bruce Smith, of course, one of the most valuable players in the Bills' victory this afternoon. Wes, back to you.
Thanks, Ed. Bruce had the only sack of Warren Moon, the Houston quarterback today. Cornelius Bennett forced a fumble for some great defensive statistics. The special team certainly did its job, forcing a fumble. Steve Tasker near the end of the game. A blocked punt by Leonard Smith and a blocked field goal. Our goal-to-go coverage is going to continue with a look ahead to next Sunday's AFC Conference Championship, right after a look back 7 years ago at the same two teams in the same two places.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shout it right now, baby.
Information galore at your fingertips, absolutely free, with a touch-tone phone and White Directory's talking phone book. It's got the whole town listening.
Blue, 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 cross blue.
Of all the blues that are in your life, there's only one blue that'll fit you right. Of all the blues that are around you each day, this kind of blue will stick with you all the way. You can be sure, feel secure that the blues take you through every day of the year. Blue Cross, the most important blue in your life.
Blue, 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 cross blue.
Blue Cross.
The time until January 4th. The event, your Good Neighbor Chevrolet dealer's year-end sale. The deals, up to $1,000 cash back, up to $1,900 in option discounts. Optional automatic transmission at no extra charge on Cavaliers. Over 5,500 vehicles available. The bottom line, tremendous savings and selection. The year-end sale ends January 4th at your Good Neighbor Chevrolet dealer.
I'm Edie Magnus. Tonight, the USA section explores.
I'm Kenneth Walker, and tonight's Money
USA Today comes to television. It will cover the USA in an exciting new way. USA Today, the television show.
Weeknights at 7 on TV2.
As you're going to be in charge someday, maybe I ought to get you up to date. What items are we selling because they're priced so low? Good answer. For your protection, our complete line of burglar alarms, famous brand radar detectors, and cruise control systems for any car. Well, how does it feel? Hey, I don't think you're that ready yet. Remember, the name is Harold's.
From complete auto upholstery to car stereos, visit either of Harold's two locations, 3521 Sheridan or 9200 Transit.
Welcome back to Goal to Go. Only 7 Buffalo Bills had playoff experience heading into today's game with the Houston Oilers. Ed Kilgore standing by live with one of those players right now.
That's right, Wes. We're with Art Still, who, of course, had a brief amount of experience, I guess you could say, with the Kansas City Chiefs. But did that help you today at all, or was this kind of a different thing, Art?
Yeah, I think 2 years ago, they really got me prepared for this game.
You know, why do guys always ask those kind of questions? That seemed like a good one at the time. But were you able to help some of the young guys? I know they had to be really excited.
Well, you know, it goes hand in hand. That's one thing I appreciate as far as being part of this organization. You know, there's not, you know, no special guy. You know, everybody works together and everybody has something to, you know, to contribute as far as to the team. And it's just a situation, you know, we push each other. And that's one thing I like about the situation around here.
About your knee, you came in, of course, you sat out last week. How'd you feel physically, and how do you feel now?
Well, it felt real good. It was just a situation, you know, I had a couple weeks, and again, you know, you can't say it's an ideal situation as far as having an injury, but again, towards the end of the season, I have the injury and having an extra week as far as to let it heal up and get it in shape. It worked out pretty good. You know, I had little problems here and there, but, you know, once you get playing the game and, you know, playing with the guys and all that stuff, pretty hard to come out, period.
Art, the Houston Oilers, of course, just a massive offensive line. Is it as good as any? Well, of course, Cincinnati's was pretty good too, but and you'll see them again. But still, a very, very good outfit. Emotion seemed to take care of a lot of that this afternoon.
Well, again, the guys I played against, and you know, speaking of Fred or you know, or Bruce or whatever and stuff, they got a tough offensive line, and again, we knew not only their big size or whatever, but at the same time, with their playing ability, that it was going to present a problem for us. We got some pressure on Warren Moon at the same time, but we knew, too, with that combination, the offensive line and the running backs and wide receivers, you know, it presents a lot of problems, and we thought if we can get them to throw the ball, we have a better chance, you know, as far as just one avenue of playing the game that, you know, we have the opportunity of getting interceptions or sacks or whatever.
Well, and you came up with both of those, especially in the second half. You seemed to be able to put more pressure on Moon. Was there any particular reason for that? Did you change anything up at the half?
Well, the coach said if we don't do anything like that, we probably won't be playing, you know, it might be our last game. So it was just a situation. We knew, you know, as a defense that, you know, we had to pick it up as far as, you know, contributing to the win of this game. And whatever we can do, you know, we're going to do it. And it's just a situation. We had some fumbles and some interceptions and something that we've been lacking as far as the last, you know, few weeks as far as playing towards the end of the season. And it helps out tremendously.
All right, you're looking forward to that trip back down to Cincinnati.
Very much so. Again, of anytime you're in a situation where you're in the playoffs and you got another game to play, you couldn't ask for a better situation, no matter if it was in, you know, any place. Once you get yourself in that situation, you just look forward to, you know, playing that game and getting yourself mentally prepared. It's nice right now to winning the game, but at the same time, we still got another game to go in the season, and
possibly two more.
Well, if we got to get through this first one, and that's the situation around here.
Okay, thank you, Art. Art Still, of course, who gained some valuable experience towards that Super Bowl road this afternoon. Wes, back to you.
Right, Ed, thank you. Recapping the scoring this afternoon for the Buffalo Bills, no score after one period of play. They blew a couple of good chances down near the goal line. Early on, Rob Riddick scored a one-yard touchdown plunge in the second quarter, making it 7-0 at that time. Thurman Thomas with a 10-yard touchdown gallop near the end of the third quarter, with the Bills' other TD and Scott Norwood with a field goal in the fourth quarter. Houston scored its points on a 35-yard field goal by Tony Zindejas and then a run by Mike Rozier in the fourth quarter for the 17-10 finale of the Bills over the Oilers. Back to Ed Kilgore at the stadium.
Okay, thanks, Wes. And we're with free safety Mark Kelso now, who came up with a huge interception late in the ball game. And Mark, I suppose this has been a pretty good week for you. You win an AFC, at least a playoff game that gets you one game away from the big one, and you had a little girl. I mean, what else could you want, huh?
Nothing right now. It's been a great week. A little bit tiring, but a great week.
Now, in the second half, it seemed like, I don't know whether you changed up anything. In the first half, on third down, Warren Moon hurt you some with that pass over the middle. Drew Hill made a couple grabs for big first downs. It seemed like you did a better job against that in the second half. Did you change anything up at all?
No, not particularly. The only thing we really did in the second half different from the first is when they came out in 4 wide receivers, we stayed in our regular personnel a little more, and because they have a little tendency to run the ball. And then we just put Scott and Darryl walked out on either side and we let Biscuit still rush, and Ray play in the middle, and then we just played too deep with zone underneath, and so they didn't have to run with those receivers, but so they'd be facing back to the line of scrimmage in case they did run the ball. So that was really the only change we made.
Tell me about the interception.
Well, I think we got some good pressure, and we had real good underneath coverage and forced them to throw the ball a little high. They were just pushing the seams, and they seemed to be doing that a lot in the second half. They had some success, and we had some success. So they were just trying to hit the seams when you're playing too deep. You know, there's some seams in there, and sometimes we're in 3 deep, and there's some seams too. So he threw a little bit high, and I was just glad to be in the right place at the right time.
Now, Mark, were you thinking, you know, was this like a deja vu of Green Bay? Or were you thinking, hey, I think I see 6 out there?
Well, I love to cut back when I get the ball. So, but when I did, I saw Warren Moon. He kind of headed over that way, and there wasn't too much else there. So I just put both hands on the ball, so I made sure I didn't give it up, and just kept running forward until someone hit me.
Well, the one thing that to me might have been disappointing about it, I was kind of hoping to see Chris Berman at ESPN go, Kelso scoring, but you certainly did a great job. Now, tell me this, are you looking forward to that rematch with the Bengals?
Sure am. Just give us a couple of days of rest, and then let's go. I'd much rather be playing at home, but we're playing there, and you know, and if we win the game, then it'll just prove all that much more that we can beat them, and we just have to play hard, and when Sunday comes, we'll be ready.
Mark, what is this experience like? I know a lot of you guys haven't had a playoff experience. Were there ever any times during the ball game when you felt a little panic set in, or was it a feeling of confidence most of the time?
One during the game. It was before the game that the panic set in. It's you know, it's kind of like playing your first game in college or playing your first NFL game for me, anyways, because it's just, you know, the nerves. You're a little bit tense, and your stomach's a little queasy and stuff like that. But once you get flowing in the course of the game, you know, things start to happen, and you just get into the flow of it and start playing. But there's just tremendous excitement in the fans, and it was great having that noise behind you whenever the Houston offense was on the field.
All right, Mark, congratulations to you and to Mrs. Kelso as well. Great job. They had a nice, healthy little baby girl. I think it was Tuesday night, Wes. So a very, very good week for Mark Kelso and the rest of the Kelsos. Back inside to you.
Indeed, Ed. Thank you. Bills fans at the game today were showing their true colors. Scott Brown out at the stadium, and reports on the wild and wacky outfits the Bills faithful were decked out in today.
Bills fans put on their Sunday best, or worst as the case may be, to cheer their boys on. If it was red or blue and had the word Bills on it, it was being worn today. There were, of course, the usual assortment of sweatshirts and hats to wear on the outside, and something usually worn on the inside. Bills boxers, they were a big hit today.
Is some guy walking around without his undies right now?
Yeah, my husband.
There were more than a few characters at the game, including movie stars, New Year's revelers, and even a Bills chef.
The Bills are cooking.
And a few of the players made guest appearances, including Misters Conlon, Bennett, and Smurless. And some fans were carried away today by the beautiful spring-like weather.
You gonna catch some rays?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're gonna catch some rays right here. It's beautiful. No blizzard, no nothing. We're here in Miami.
No fog.
No fog.
Now, we spent a good part of the morning trying to find somebody, anybody, brave enough or dumb enough to wear powder blue. That's Houston's colors. Come to think of it, powder blue says something about the team, doesn't it?
Fans have been really just beautiful, really.
No grief, no abuse?
No, not yet. You know, a few comments here and there. Like, you know, but...
Nothing you can repeat on the air?
I'd rather not.
But we think we found the most appropriately dressed Oilers fan. Scott Brown, Newscenter 2 at Rich Stadium.
Okay, Scott, thank you. The San Francisco 49ers, by the way, have taken a 7-3 lead now on the Minnesota Vikings in their NFC semifinal. That winner plays the Chicago Bears next Sunday in the late game, the 4 o'clock game for the NFC Championship. Ed Kilgore again, live out at the stadium. Ed?
That's right. We're with Bill's general manager, Bill Polian, now, and I just said to Bill, Wes, let's make this a habit. I mean, you know, these live interviews after big victories, but Bill, is something I'm sure you don't get tired of. But this obviously one of the biggest wins in the history of the franchise.
I guess it is. Stu Boyer sought me out on the field this morning, came over to wish me luck, which he has for every game at Rich Stadium here this year, and that may have been what did it. Wrong tense, excuse me.
Yeah, the English professor here, Marv Levy, might get on you for that.
He really would. He really would. Actually, Just an absolutely courageous performance by our football team today. And the fans, certainly the 12th man chipped in and helped, but our football team showed so much courage and heart. You know, we'd move, we get a couple of bad breaks, we don't push it in, and can't put it on ice, and then every time out we come up big. Cornelius and the special teams and Bruce and Ray at the end, and the special teams obviously outstanding today.
Well, another guy that I thought, I don't know that he really needs to exonerate himself, Bill, but Jim Kelly showed that under pressure, he is the guy that you want as your quarterback, and I think those who might have doubted that need only look at what happened this afternoon.
Well, when you think about the number of balls that were perfectly thrown balls that weren't caught, anybody that criticizes Jim Kelly, we ought to find a bed for in the nearest mental institution.
No, that's true. Were you surprised at all at Marv's thinking there that you would come out throwing the ball like you did? I think it was a while before you really ran any running plays at all, certainly to Thurman Thomas.
No, we had talked about it earlier in the week, and one of the things he had made some notes on, I think we were talking Christmas Day, and he said we need to have a looser approach. Part of that was their defense, and part of it was the fact that with that run and shoot, that puts such pressure on you. And, you can't say enough for Ray Bentley and Scott Radisick either. We don't have Shane Conlon, who's arguably one of the two best inside linebackers in all of professional football, and we virtually shut down the best running game in the AFC.
That you did. Bill, any chance, I know it's still too soon probably to tell, but any chance at all that Shane could be ready for Cincinnati?
Well, I don't know. I think he feels pretty positive about it, but we'll see during the week.
Okay, congratulations on another big win.
Thank you, Eddie.
Okay, Bill Polian, who, of course, his Bills are now one game away from playing in Miami, but that's a pretty big game, obviously, down in Cincinnati, a rematch of a game a little bit earlier on in the season. Wes?
Ed, thank you. Again, Bills 17, Houston Oilers 10 this afternoon. We'll be back with the final word on our Goal to Go post-game show right after a timeout.
The Bills make me wanna shout, kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout, throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout, yeah, 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 yeah. Shout it right now, baby. Come on, come on. Come on and shout.
Hey, Jim, I need a new car for my wife. Where should I go?
No problem, Art. The Mancuso family of dealerships, and let me tell you why. When you buy a car from the Cuz, it's more than just buying a car. It's like being part of the family.
He's right, Art. That's why so many Bills buy their cars from Charlie.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, Charlie's here.
Bruce, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Cody?
Shane. What's cooking, guys?
Let's get out and have some dinner.
Great idea. Who's buying?
Come on, Charlie. What a family's for.
WBEN puts more into your radio. Good morning from Bill Lacey. It's 20 minutes after...
Receivers on the power play has tied it up 1-1.
Bring a chance of showers. For weather facts, this is Chief Meteorologist Carl.
Deep to center field. Going back. He's got it.
From City Hall, Brian Meyer, WBEN Radio News.
The Bills come to the line, and they are going for it.
Kensington. This is Dave May for the WBEN Traffic Copter.
WBEN, Radio 930. We cover it all. Now at the Lazy Boy Showcase Shops. Save on our entire collection of Lazy Boy furniture. Factory-authorized clearance sale prices are marked on selected floor samples, one-of-a-kinds, discontinued styles and fabrics, odds and ends. The area's largest selection of genuine Lazy Boy recliners and sleep sofas are now on sale to make room for expanded inventory. There's never been a better price. Buy now during our factory-authorized clearance sale at the Lazy Boy Showcase Shops. Two great locations in Orchard Park and Amherst.
If you're a boater, you know the name Sea Ray and Merc Cruiser is synonymous with outstanding quality in fiberglass pleasure boats. But did you know that Sea Ray builds over 60 different models in 16 to 46 feet? With an alternate choice of styling and features as well as size, Sea Ray sport boats are in a class of their own. Their quality sets standards against which all other sport boats may be measured. And affordable, you bet. Smith Boys is your authorized Merc Cruiser dealer. And remember, if it isn't a Sea Ray from Smith Boys, you've missed the boat.
Welcome back. Shane Conlon was on the inactive list again for today's game against the Houston Oilers. He's been out for several games now with that foot injury. An all-pro inside linebacker, but when one Penn State linebacker goes down, another one fills in for the Buffalo Bills, and Ed Kilgore's with him live right now.
That's right, Russ. Scott Radisick did a terrific job inside today, in for Shane Conlon. And Scott, I know that has to put a little extra pressure on you. At least if it didn't, it should have.
No, I don't think it really did. It was, it was another big game. I felt confident in my abilities, thankful for the way the team has played and the way I've played so far this year. But, you just want to go out and play well. And I didn't want to play, better than anybody else wanted to play. And it was really an 11-man defensive effort today.
So, Mr. Wilson, so it sounds like almost a cliche, but in other words, stay within yourself kind of thing.
Sure, yeah. You just do the things that have gotten you this far in the game. And, you're not going to, you don't look as trying to be a star, trying to prove anything to anybody. You're just going to play your game the way you've always played it. And when you get 11 guys playing that way, you're able to come up with some big plays.
Scott, I don't know if you'd say this is an advantage or not, but most of the national media, it seems, had written the Bills off for, you dropped the 3 out of the last 4 games. I just heard an awful lot of people say they thought the Houston Oilers were going to win this game this afternoon, and yet I noticed that old intensity back that you had on that drive to the AFC East Championship. Did you feel inside that this was the Bills team that was going to show up today?
I believe so. It's the start of a new season. You put everything else behind you. I don't think there was one person on the team that was thinking about the fact that we lost a couple of games at the end. You're starting fresh. Everybody was healthy, feeling good, and there wasn't any way that people weren't going to be ready to play this game. Everyone was intense. The locker room was a lot more serious before the game than it had been in the past couple of games, and everything was everything was riding on this game, and everybody came out ready to play, and you could tell by the way our effort was today.
One thing I thought was interesting before the game, one of the NBC people, I think might have been Ahmed Rashad, said he was in both locker rooms. He said the Bills locker room was very, very quiet. He said the Oilers were very, very loose, and sometimes these guys make it sound almost like that's a plus to be very, very loose, but in terms of the Bills, it seems like when you guys are quiet, that's when you're most effective.
I think that it was a chance where everybody was focused on the game and what they had to do, and it wasn't any type of fake hoopla or just trying to be rah-rah to make some noise. Everybody knew what they had to do, and it was just a matter of waiting until we could finally do it.
Now, AFC Championship game. Sounds exciting. I mean, I'm nervous thinking about it already, but quickly here, another shot at the Bengals.
We all wanted it. Ever since we left that field a couple of weeks ago, we said we hope we get a chance to come back here, and we believe it'll be a different story. When you play somebody once, you learn from your mistakes, and you say, if I had that to do again, I'd do it differently. And I think everybody feels that way. And once again, everyone will be focused on the game. There won't be any other distractions. Everybody will be thinking about winning that game. And I believe that the times that we've felt that way going into a game, we've played extremely well.
All right, Scott, congratulations. Great job. Scott Radisick, who certainly filled in very, very capably for Shane Conlon. And Wes, let's take it back to you now.
Okay, Ed, thank you. Indeed, the Bills were able to stop the Houston run for all intents and purposes, the strength of their game, and force Warren Moon to pass the ball this afternoon. And with the 17-3 lead late in the fourth quarter, the defense came up big again, as it did on many occasions this afternoon. Moon, at this point, having to pass, he's going to go to Haywood Jeffries, his second-year receiver out of North Carolina. And as you see, he gets stripped here by Cornelius Bennett, and the ball is recovered at the Houston 24-yard line. That would result in Scott Norwood trying for some insurance points on a three-pointer, although he hit the upright. The Bills went on to win it 17-10. Steve Keeley still inside the stadium up top to get a good bird's eye view again. Steve, back to you.
The Bills fans are also learning how to be a winner. Security was a big concern here on the field after the game, but it was also a very big concern off the field before the game.
They sold their tickets right near police, but the scalpers were the ones being scalped today, as most were forced to ask for a lot less than what they paid for their tickets.
I bought it for $35, but I'll take and sell them for $25. Section C, $28 seat.
How come you're selling for only $20?
Because I want to get in there and watch the ball game.
Another group having trouble with their sales were vendors without permits and those selling items not licensed by the National Football League. One such vendor didn't like his picture being taken.
I don't need publicity. Hey, all right, well, stop pointing the camera.
We got some people out here that selling don't have permits, don't have license, and some of the products are not NFL products.
Special NFL security crews shut down 14 unlicensed vendors before the game. Fans going into the game were also getting a close look.
looking for cans, bottles, anything that might do damage onto the field.
And to make sure 80,000 excited fans don't trample the teams and each other after the game, the biggest teams on the sidelines today were increased security crews.
Well, I don't think we're going to have that problem today. I just don't think we're going to have 80,000 people that will want to be on the field.
And Vince Tobia's prediction certainly right. No problems after the game today. The goalposts are still standing. They'll probably only be dismantled by the field crew here and be used again in the preseason. And Ed Kilgore, the 12th man, a big man in the game today. The home team fans, it'll be interesting to see how the players do without that important 12th man next week in Cincinnati.
I tell you what, if there's anybody that's happy about this victory, and obviously a lot of people are Bills fans, 80,000 a day, a big television audience, but how about the owner, Ralph Wilson, who had an awful lot to do with the team that has been put together right here. Ralph, you certainly should take some of the credit for this. I mean, you take all the credit for the bad times. Why don't you take some of the credit for the good times?
The credit, Ed, for this game and the whole season goes to the Marv and his staff and the players. And gee, I hope I don't hurt your ratings today. You said you had a good now. You said you had a good rating last time, so I hope I don't drop it too much. But in all seriousness, I feel the way everybody that saw this game, either here live or on television, the team has played 9 tremendous games at home this year, and some great games away too. And the people in Western New York and Buffalo should really be proud of this team. I am. The way they have fought hard and against very good teams.
Ralph, about maybe 3-4 years ago, did you think you might be standing here talking? Now you're going to the AFC Championship game. You're 1 game away from the S word, which I won't even say because I know you get superstitious about that. But were there any dark times when you thought maybe this wouldn't happen, or did you deep down inside think, hey, this is going to happen? We will bounce back as a franchise.
Well, I don't think you really think that things will never happen. You just make some changes and do the best you can. Although this has been the most dramatic turnaround of a National Football League team that I can remember the last 50 years. I've never seen a team turn around from 2-14 to what this team has done this year. It just hasn't happened, and I watched a lot of football.
Is this as big a thrill as you've had since you've been an owner? Now, you had some other big thrills, obviously, back in the 60s and so on, but does this rank up there with them?
This is right even. Right even. And actually, anybody involved in professional football, it's such a great sport. They have a lot of thrills. And you go back over the years, it's hard to pick one out over the other. Naturally, this is right up at the top.
Ralph, there was some thinking in the league that
Don't forget the ratings now.
Yeah, the ratings are still great. I think, in fact, they tell me we just gained a few points. Yeah, we did. We actually gained some. Now, there was a thought on the National Football League that they were going to try to do something about the crowd noise for the dome stadiums. Now, obviously, today, the Bills crowd had an effect on the Oilers. Are you one of the people that's for or against that rule?
Well,
maybe it's an unfair time to ask it.
I don't know. It's difficult to control the crowd, but I think it's gotten so bad in some of these dome stadiums now, and I really shouldn't say this because I'm so hoarse right now that it's hard to answer your question. I guess I yelled louder today than I have all season. But to be specific, it's hard to control the crowd noise. I think our team, the Bills, have done a great job in the King Dome, in the Hoosier Dome. I don't think they were in motion but a couple of times. And but it's difficult. Although if it continues, the thing that concerns me is what happened yesterday with this injury. A team going down.
Your old coach pulled a little faster.
I agree with Don Shula that if that continues, there has to be some unsportsmanlike conduct penalties assessed against the team that's doing it.
So you're saying you don't think Marv is going to do that next week against the Bengals?
Marv would never do that.
Okay.
No.
Ralph, congratulations.
Okay.
Nice job.
Thank you,
thanks
Ed.
for getting our ratings up there, too. I appreciate
I don't know
that.
about that.
Okay. Thanks, Ralph. Let's talk to Pete Metzler's here. Huh? Yeah, I know. The owner. Now to the guy.
Now to the low road.
Pete, just tell me how you feel right now. You're 1 game away from the big one, of course, the AFC Championship game. Every player works for this kind of thing.
This is just a dream come true. It's a dream for every player, and
You know, there's a lot of players throughout the league, great players who are Hall of Famers who never getting a chance to get to the Super Bowl or getting a game like the one that's coming up. And we got that opportunity right there in front of us, and just got to grab it and go with it.
How did you handle yourself privately this week? Now, you've had, I believe, a playoff experience or two, unlike some of the other people. Is there a way, do you have to keep yourself maybe from getting too keyed up, too excited about it?
Well, it's just, you just try to focus on the game, but you try to relax while you're throughout the week and stuff. You know, you're coming in the game, and, you know, as much as I try to relax and worry about it, you know, not worry about other things and concentrate on the game, boy, come game time, you just so many butterflies, you're so nervous, and, you know, once you get out and hit a few people, you kind of relax, but, you know, you end up with those butterflies almost the whole game because there's just so much going on it and so much riding on it, and it's just such a big dream for everybody to be on the road to the Super Bowl.
Is there a different level of intensity in a playoff game like today? Is it noticeable to you?
Well, there is. Everything's a little quicker, everything's a little faster. Defenses, you don't know what people are going to do. People will pull more things and try different things during the playoffs. You know, try to mix up a few more things that they didn't do during the regular season, and so things just happen faster, happen quicker, and you know, you just got to be aware and ready for it.
Pete, there's been not a lot of criticism of your quarterback, Jim Kelly, but a lot of the fans, even though you're 12-4, he hasn't really received a lot of the credit. I thought today was a day when he showed that in a championship-type football game, he is the kind of quarterback you need if you want to think about a Super Bowl or an AFC championship.
Oh, that's right. Jim's been just an unselfish performer all year long. When we were running the ball, he wasn't upset, worried about throwing the ball and putting numbers on the board. He's just happy we're winning, and we're going to win with Jim Kelly. He was out there and took control of the offense today. We opened it up, had a great day for throwing the ball, good weather and stuff, so we went ahead and opened it up, and things were clicking, and we kept with it, and Jim just had a big day.
All right, Pete, nice job.
All right,
see you in Cincinnati. Pete Metzelaars, tight end for the Buffalo Bills. Wes, let's take it back inside to you again.
Thanks, Ed. During the Pete Metzelaars interview, you saw one of the two chances in the first quarter that the Bills had to score 7 points whenever the would-be touchdown pass to Metzelaars was bumped away by a Houston defender. Let's take it out of the second quarter, and when the Bills finally did get on the board, Bruce Smith sacked Warren Moon on a third down. Leonard Smith has blocked a punt, and the Bills are driving down close, as you see at the 1-yard line. And watch the second effort here by Rob Riddick as he finally goes over to get the Bills on the board, 7-0. That capped a 46-yard drive, and the Bills were never headed after that this afternoon. 17-10 win over the Houston Oilers. We'll be back with a final word on our Goal to Go post-game show right after this word.
Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shout it right now, baby. Come on, come on.
Magnum. Selling.
Aloha.
Excitement. He's America's hottest PI.
Private investigator.
Television's top gun.
Everything is under control.
And we've got him.
I think I can explain.
Tom Selleck is Magnum.
Action, adventure, romance, and the scenery isn't bad either. Join me every weekday for Magnum.
Magnum's got a private eye for action. Weekdays at 4 on TV2.
Hi, I'm Ed Kilgore. And I'm Jim Kelly. All of us on the show want to take this opportunity to wish you and your family a very happy holiday.
And a great new year, and we hope you start the new year off right by joining us for the next Jim Kelly Show, which will be Tuesday, January 3rd at 7:30.
We'll have all the highlights of our last game. Don't miss it.
The Jim Kelly Show is brought to you by the Mancuso family of dealerships and Smith Boys Marine. Kelly and Kilgore bring the NFL action home to you 7:30 Tuesday, only on TV2.
One year, I was appointed the #1 angel in the school Christmas pageant, hovering ever so lightly over the manger scene. Hey, it wasn't my fault they dropped me on top of the wise men. If they were so wise, why didn't they move?
You know, when I was a kid, we didn't have a fireplace. We had a floor furnace, so we used to hang our stockings over the floor furnace. And then we'd wake up early in the morning and come out and find our stockings full of melted Christmas candy.
Tell me, what's your favorite holiday memory?
Our first Christmas together, of course.
And getting you as a tax write-off.
Mickey, what does Christmas mean to you?
Gee, Michael, it's Christmas trees, snow, friends, family. Gee, it's just lots of fun.
But the best part of Christmas is standing under the mistletoe and getting kissed.
Dave, if you could have anything in the world you wanted for Christmas, what would it be?
Well, I guess I'd want everyone to put their guns down and have peace in the world, Georgie. Peace in the world.
Holiday greetings from all of us at TV2. Welcome back. I'm Wes Goforth. The Buffalo Bills beat the Houston Oilers today 17-10. They'll go to Cincinnati and play the Bengals in the AFC Championship a week from today at 12:30. Right now, Mike DeGeorge, Ed Kilgore live at the stadium with some final thoughts. Gentlemen?
Yes, Wes. Mike, you know, we were just talking here just a moment ago, and one of the things we've kind of overlooked in all the excitement here, and I thought that the special teams today for the Bills did, I mean, all season long they've done a tremendous job. But this afternoon particularly, they block a field goal, they block a punt. Their coverage was just unbelievable on kickoffs and punts. And Errol Tucker did a good job returning kicks. He got the Bills some good field position a few times.
Didn't you see this as the classic playoff formula for success? Just enough offense, a ton of defense, and great special teams.
Yeah, now, of course, there was some room for second-guessing, I suppose, because Marv Levy disdained the field goal a couple times. Talking to Jim Kelly, though, he said, you know, this is one of those kind of games when I feel like you have to go for it and go for the points. And it could have been a costly decision, but obviously it all worked out well.
I disagree with Jim, but then who am I? I mean, you know, I think in a playoff game, you've got to take the 3 points when you can. The thing that's surprising me in looking at the stats is that the Bills outrushed the Oilers somehow with 135 to 125.
Well, the bottom line is the Bills win it, as Wes Goforth told you, 17-10, and it's on to Cincinnati for the AFC championship game next week. Wes, back to you.
Okay, Ed, Mike, thank you. And certainly they'll have to shut down that potent offensive front for the Cincinnati Bengals to win it next week in their running game as well. That wraps up our special Goal to Go post-game show. We'll have more tonight on News Center 2 at 6 and 11. Be sure also to join us for Sports Extra tonight at 11:30, our special